Okay, hey, we're back. We're here. Hi, Aquarius. This one's for you. That's you, Aquarius, right there. This is Tarot Lumination with your love and relationship report for February 2018. Same kind of routine that we've been doing. No jumpers, flyers, oracles, no reversals. You know the drill. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Reinterpret to suit you. Even do your cross-watching if it helps, especially with significant relationships. Now, we haven't had time to do the singles reports, so if you want to, you can interpret this for singles by allowing and, let's say, imagining that you're always radiating the energy of relationship anyway, and then through the laws of attraction, this would be prospective type energy, like, well, what if? Okay, in other words, what would you be attracting? Or what could you attract, so to speak? All right, hope that makes sense. Now, there's various things going on up in the planets and everything, but one seems to jump out in particular for you, Aquarius, and that is the new moon eclipse in the middle of the month. So that's sitting right on top of you. It's like brand new shakeups, brand new awakenings for you personally. How you are in this world, in the way others perceive you, in the way that literally like how you appear to others in this world. So, of course, that does have a significant impact on your relationships. Like, who are you really, Aquarius? Who are you really? Where have you come from? Where have you been? What are you doing? What's happening next? The eclipses are really all about shaking it up. And especially with the South Node eclipse, it's all about what's not working for you, Aquarius, in your own wonderful self. That could be impacting your ability to have a really luscious, fulfilling, happy relationships, of course. And also, we've just come out of the that big eclipse right at the end of January too. So that was hitting right on the relationship axis, first house and seventh house. So you might be very, very sensitive to the subject of relationships right now, Aquarius. All right, let's have a look. Let's keep going. Cards are already well shuffled in advance. No reversals. Sorry about that. It's enough just to tell the story as just using the cards as they were originally painted. So there you go. Now we're working on the understanding that there's you, Aquarius, and a significant other, and the relationship itself, and the relationship has an identity of its own. Okay, that needs to be honored and respected and understood. Let's have a look. Here we go. This would be your energy radiating like love and relationship energy over here, like a pulse, like a transmitter, and ability to receive as well from a significant other over here. These would be chosen relationships. Okay, like if you're manifesting a relationship, this might be what could be expected. Over here, this is deep inside of you. You might not even know that this is happening. Over here, deep inside of the other, they might not even know it's happening. And over here, the relationship itself. Here you can see the shape. This is the crucible in which the relationship occurs. In other words, there is you, Aquarius, there's a significant other, and there's the relationship itself in which both parties conduct the love, so to speak. And this would be the prospects, okay? So it's important in a healthy, loving relationship to invest in the relationship, invest in the structure of the relationship, instead of just going on as if none of this existed and it was just you and the other, which is very common, okay? But we're going broad spectrum here, okay? All right, so also, Aquarius, we're going to look at circumstantial energy that might be out there, not necessarily yours, but you might pick up from it, sense it, know it, see it as opportunity. It might be feel very challenging, but it could also be very stimulating, but it doesn't necessarily have to own you. The whole idea is that you own the weather. So you have the strength. Okay. Strength to me here, it feels in this situation that it's kind of hard not to, attribute the Leo energy over here, the energy of a significant other, which would be your other half, so to speak, having come into stark awareness very recently, and now coming to a head, and then starting from scratch again in the middle of February. So you might already be pretty rattled just coming into February, and getting shaken up simply because of the eclipses. And my feeling here, the whole idea of the eclipses is to shake you up, wake you up, to, let's say, rise up above like the most evolved egoic version of yourself that you are today already, even in the context of a very, let's say, advanced loving relationship, or even a very challenging love relationship, where if it's this is really stretching it, Aquarius, but the whole idea is to start breaking apart old molds, old structures, old understandings about the way how things should be, could be, or coulda, woulda, shoulda, and let's get serious reality checks here, because we're all on an epic journey together, and a lot of those growth processes that happen to us in life occur in the context of relationships, hopefully very loving relationships. But we can start things that are very, very loving that can actually turn out to be very, very challenging. But if you see that as a gift, then it allows the whole circumstance to be a spiritual journey where you, in the context of a significant other, have the chance to rise to your most highly evolved self, where you're bringing yourself into alignment with spirit. Okay, where the ego drives become secondary, as opposed to having the ego drives be dominant and prominent, which is normal. But we're saying it's like, it's time, wake up, Aquarius. It's time to take it to the next level and see everything from the spiritual perspective, especially since we have Saturn going through your 12th house for the next few years. So it could be, you know, like a long-term journey of new awakenings about what needs to be learned and understood, restructuring in your spiritual understanding about what happens in the context of a loving relationship. Like, okay, there's you, there's the other, and that's wonderful. But now we're going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the relationship itself. What is the purpose? The structure of the relationship. Is the crucible strong enough to endure all the intimacy and separation that occurs inside the alchemical process of relationship, where on the highest spiritual understanding, the energy of relationship is about healing ourselves and each other, and creating a safe space where we can all heal and grow and love and be loved. Okay, now let's just get into it. Okay, here we go. We already started with this. So Aquarius, I might feel it's like you might be feeling very puzzled about what's going on right now, because it's like you've got the love, you've got the capacity to love and to be loved. It's all there. It's becoming very, very evident to you. It's being shaken up. It's being woken up inside of you. It's like there's a lot of like going on. It's almost like the feeling of having your finger. I don't know if you ever did this as a kid. I was kind of a wild kid. I liked to test myself. So just to do scary things to scare other people and show how brave I was, I would stick my finger into a light bulb socket and switch it on and see how long I could hold my finger there. Zzz. Okay, it's kind of stupid, but I think that's the kind of energy that we're dealing here, where it's just like zzz, zzz. With the eclipses, it's taking things to the max, where things spark out and arc out, and the whole idea is to awaken, and it kind of pops everything open. You start to realize, my gosh, I have so much to offer. I am so deeply loving in my own quirky Aquarian ways, and I deserve to be loved equally in my own quirky Aquarian ways by someone who understands and loves me accordingly. Now, if that's a puzzle, then let's just admit, I, Aquarius, am a puzzle. I am an enigma to myself, in fact, and which would make it very simple for other people to understand and accept that you are an enigma to them as well. So it kind of almost gives you an excuse to be divinely unique without constantly having to explain it, and instead just live it, okay? Live it from the heart, and then see how that translates into your three-dimensional reality. Because, yeah, again, I'm trying to turn this into a spiritual journey here, very much to do with the Saturn thing in Capricorn and the eclipses over there in your first house, the Aquarius new moon eclipse. I think I said it's already it's sitting on the south node. So the whole idea is to shake up and wake up, uh, like things that need to be outgrown so that we can evolve towards your north node type of dynamic of what would be a loving relationship. Let's have a look. Whoa, whoa. So, Aquarius, you might be relating with someone who is actually maybe a little bit perplexed by you right now, to the point where you're just doing the best to be Aquarius. There you are. I am loving. I am loved. I am an enigma, and I'm a gorgeous enigma. Thank you very much. And I'm perfectly ready, willing, and able to intimate and separate, just like anyone else would want to do in a deeply loving, intimate, satisfying, spiritually evolving, and physically tangible relationship on this earth, on this planet. And there's the other one over here. It's just like, actually, Aquarius, you're scaring me. You are scaring me. I don't know what's going on with you. I don't quite get it. And, well, that's okay, because I'm an enigma. You're not supposed to get it all the time, if you don't mind. And then they kind of go, well, could you at least give us a clue? Because we're kind of going without any maps or guides here. So it leaves all the rest of us questioning about what's going on. And then you can say, well, we're all on a spiritual journey and you're being hazed. And they say, what? And then you say, well, you're here with me. Yeah, I'm here with you. And you're wigging out. Yeah, I'm wigging out. But that's what's supposed to happen, because it is a relationship. And I am the enigma here, and you're being you, and that's great. And this is a chance for you to get to the next level too. Thank you very much. It's like you're getting hazed. You, significant other, are getting hazed by Aquarius. And that's okay, because they have their own evolving to do in the context of this relationship. So it's like, it's very, very intriguing what's going on here. Very, very intriguing. Let's have a look deep down. Okay. Okay, deep down, let's just say, with all that Saturn and Capricorn thing going through your 12th house, it's like this is going to be a long-term process of looking forward into the structures of the relationship, in how your own, let's say, spiritual understandings and awakenings affect your ability to have a healthy, loving relationship. So it is time now, and you are aware of it, and you're perfectly willing and ready and able to go into that, because you're getting shaken up enough to do that, that you're realizing it is time to go deep. It is time to go very, very deep here and get into the weeds, get into the ground, start tilling things, and doing what has to be done in order to grow your talents, gifts, and resources and abilities to function and stabilize in a loving, healthy relationship. And that's you taking the responsibility. So I see that as a good sign, Aquarius. Even though they might not understand anything and they might be wigging out by your behavior, it's very important that you understand that you have the whole idea of having a chosen relationship where there is a structure where we can intimate and we can separate. We can intimate and separate without having to feel it's like this. We intimate and then, well, where are you? No, because that often happens when you just live your relationships on autopilot. But when you deliberately create a structure like this, then you give yourselves a safe place in which to do all the combustible, let's say, experiments that happen inside the context of a relationship. So deep down, this would be yourself showing the willingness to be ready to go deep, do the Saturn journey here, and go deep into spirit, go deep into soul, to find out what is really, really going on in the context of my love life and the relationships in the bigger picture, so I can see that it isn't just about me, 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 or them, 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 them. There is a whole bigger perspective that's opening up where you can see the spiritual journey. You can see the spiritual relevance of your relationship. Not just all about you, it's not just all about them, but it is the relationship, and what is the value of the relationship. Doing the cleaning up and the weeding and the purifying and the cleansing and the distillations and the refining and the healing practices that need to be done in order to improve the quality of the relationship, but taking ownership for that yourself. okay? And not blaming a significant other. If they are wigging out, that's their problem, okay? Let them wig out, okay? That's, and they're on their own spiritual journey too. They're on their own love relationship journey with you, and you don't necessarily have to coddle them. It's very important that you maintain your integrity, your identity through this. You've got this massive eclipse shaking everything up. It's very much about, who are you, Aquarius? Who are you in this relationship? And we need to find that out. Shaking away, it's like, when you're sieving flour, or you're, putting things through a sieve, getting rid of all the stuff so you can get to the nuggets that really, really, really count in a relationship, without all the distractions and all the irrelevant doo-doo that seems to happen in relationships. So think of this as kind of a long-term perspective. What about inside of them? Okay, well, they may not be able to handle it, okay? My feeling here with the Two of Wands is that they might be getting so wigged out by the whole thing that they're starting to look for a way out. Maybe not to escape from you, Aquarius, or the relationship itself, but starting to look at, like, well, how is this actually going to work for me? Because my dear Aquarius is off there trying to figure out their own jigsaw puzzle and themselves and their life, doing their own purification and sieving and filtering to get the good stuff and the value out of this love relationship. But as far as I'm concerned over here, it's really freaking me out to the point where I have to look at things from a new perspective for myself, simply so that I can survive in the context of this relationship. So can you see, like, the echo and the ripple and the ricochet effects that happen inside a relationship, the boomerang effects, like who you are affects the other and who they are affects you. And so they go off and start to figure out, like, well, what am I supposed to do now? You're my wonderful Aquarius, and we may or may not have a great relationship. Well, I don't know. That's up to you, Aquarius. All I'm suggesting here with the energy is that the significant other here is trying to figure out what to do and where to go in the context of things right now, because this might be too much for them to handle. And so it's like the feeling of, like, whoa. That it's, in other words, over an extended period of relationship, it would be like, we intimate, we separate. We intimate, we separate. We intimate. And right now, here we are at the reading, like, we've intimated, and now it's just like, ooh, I need to separate a little bit here. And it's okay, okay? It's okay. We intimate and separate. It's like, literally, you get up and live your day, and then you go to bed at night if you're sharing the same bed. We intimate, we separate. Sometimes we do that. It's just a question of degree. So right now it feels to me like, in the process of we intimate, we separate, it's like, whoa, whoa, while you're trying to figure out what, who and what you are in the context of the relationship. Let's have a look. Bam-o. Well, it's a chance for new starts, new beginnings. So I feel this relates directly to the new moon eclipse over here for you, shaking everything up. Like, we have to see this whole thing from a completely new perspective and start from scratch. It's almost like, let's start dating again and pretend like we've just met. I don't know you, you don't know me, and let's start all over again with a whole new, broader, wider perspective from a spiritual perspective, not just all about, you're nice, what can I get out of you? And like, well, you're kind of cool, what can I get out of you? And you've done all the getting out of each other, whatever you can get, and then you're left with the residue of what a lot of people call a relationship, or a maturing relationship, where you've come down to the bedrock, like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I'm married now, or I'm deep in a relationship, and you've discovered the worst in each other. You've discovered the worst in yourself. They've discovered the worst in themselves. They've discovered the worst in you and them. And you still have a chance to carry on, because that's what happens over long-term relationships. And this is a chance for a new beginning. They see it, and it's obvious for you too, and it has to happen. What are the prospects? Okay. To me, it feels like here, Aquarius, it's an understanding that it's very, very important to maintain your identity in the context of relationship. And it's a real shake-up, a real wake-up call that you do not have to constantly oblige a significant other to call it a relationship. And they are not obliged to continuously comply with you in order to call this thing a relationship. It's very, very important that you be truly yourself, your most highly evolved self. And no one else can do that but you. And that by deliberately doing that, making that part of your mission, your task, your homework, your cleanup campaign, your restructuring, your remodeling of yourself from the soul outwards, from the soul upwards, it puts them in a position where they have no choice except to become more and more defined in themselves about who they are. And it doesn't mean it's the end of a relationship or anything, but what it means is that both parties now have to realize and understand that, yes, we can intimate, we can separate, we can intimate, we can separate, but you are your own unique being, Aquarius, and ultimately all the answers lie within, okay? But you can do that in the context of a relationship, and the other party is now essentially forced into a position where they have to realize, my God, I'm on my own too. It's like, wait a minute, I thought we had a relationship. And you can say, well, actually we do. We have a very deeply loving relationship where you get to be fully you. And I get to be fully me. Thank you very much. Okay? Now, if that happens because I am so enigmatic and that's wigging you out, then it's up to you to grow and evolve to get to this level of understanding so you can see how to extract the value of this situation, our relationship, and that is good. Doesn't mean we stay together or we go off on our own separate ways. We don't know. You can still make a decisions. Don't, let's just that's up to you, okay? I'm trying to say, I'm not a fortune teller, okay? Tarot Illumination does not tell fortunes. You have to make your own decisions. I'm just painting pictures here, telling stories about, it's very much about individuation here. It's very much about realizing you are on your own path, Aquarius, and you have a significant relationship with another, and they are on their own path too. And you can do that in the context of a significant relationship, so long as you don't get scared and wigged out, thinking like, well, wait a minute, do they love me anymore because they're just into themselves? Or do they love me anymore because they're just into themselves? You can still, a lot of relationships go through that stuff where you realize, my gosh, who is that person? Like, who are you? We've been together for ages, and I've just realized I have no clue who you are. We've done everything we can together, everything. Thank you very much. And they're saying like, well, actually, you're the one who said it, but I'm the one who's feeling it. You're just off on your own world being you. And then you can say, well, actually, that's the cool thing about us and what we have. You get to be you, you get to be you. And that can be a good thing. Some people can't handle that. Some people like to be fully merged, like in a state of codependency. That doesn't typically work for you, Aquarius. You like to be very, very much your own unique sense of being without being like forced or squeezed or pressured into those like sloppy kind of situations. So let's just leave it at that. You can reinterpret this however you want. Okay, Aquarius, I'm going to wish you all the best. And thank you for visiting Tarot Illumination. It's been a pleasure to read for you. Reinterpret however you want. Watch your sun, moon, and rising. And do your cross-watching too if you have to. Bye-bye.